Welcome back. So what we're going to talk this time about is something that a lot of people tend to have questions about, confusion, is what site do you pick? Where do you launch yourself, your beautiful, gorgeous self? Where do you put yourself out there? So the first thing I want to say about that is that all the sites, for the most part, I can't think of an exception, they all have success stories and they all have disaster stories. It's kind of going to be determined by listening for, right? It's a very powerful thing. So whatever you're comfortable with, I'm going to talk about the ones that are the most popular so that that's pretty much a safe bet, any one of these things. And there's also the web-based and there's apps. So depending on which one you're more comfortable with. Some of them have a free version. I do encourage people to go for the paid version of these sites because you're going to get full functionality. And, you know, listen, you're invested in this, right? You want to just go all the way. So that's my recommendation. But certainly some of these sites do have a free version if that's what you need, at least to start with. Okay. So now the other thing, I want to just do a little pitch here as we launch into this conversation about which sites and apps are the best. Online dating has tapped into people's, you know, the kind of, in fact, you've probably heard this term swipe mentality. Well, that came from Tinder, one of the apps, but it's kind of, it's going on all over the place. We're expecting a lot. We perceive limitless choice in almost everything that we care about. And the other thing that happens, because we're humans, and this is one of the things that goes on, is that we have types that we are physically attracted to, things that will cause that chemistry jolt in our system. Now, if you're someone who is looking for your long-term partner, sure, are you supposed to have chemistry in your relationship? Of course, it's an essential ingredient. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of make sure that you are looking at the whole package and not just operating from that person. I got to have that person. Whoo, hot, whoo, give me that person. Yeah, not a big fan of that. However, wherever you are is where you are. In fact, if you're doing this just to create lots of sexual experiences, great, good for you. It could, because actually it's really quite powerful to be very clear about what you want. So be clear, go after that. So having said that, the websites tend to have more places for you to put information in about yourself, for you to be able to see more information about other people. So just my little pitch. So the top sites are Match.com, probably has the most number of members of any site. OkCupid, there's a difference between those two. Match has got more limited information as far as what you can match with other people, because the system will match you up based on criteria that you put in there. But the difference between Match and OkCupid is pretty extensive. OkCupid, there's lots of different places where you can put information in about yourself, and the system, you can put it to work for you. It'll match you up, and the more information there is, the more the fit can be fine-tuned for you. That also, by the way, is true about the third website I want to talk about, which is eHarmony. Now, eHarmony has been around for a long time, and it has maybe more than all the rest of the sites, it has the most strong reputation for they're about creating marriages. So in fact, you have to do something like a 500 question questionnaire to even be able to be a member of eHarmony. So can't go wrong with any of those three: Match, OkCupid, eHarmony. Can't go wrong. When somebody comes to work with me and they want to know what is a site, which one do I want to send them to, I will typically pick OkCupid as the one for them to go to. But remember, all the sites, they all have great stories, they all have great successes, and the flip side to that too. All right, so that's for the websites, those are the top three. For apps, then you're looking at Tinder, Bumble, and Bumble is driven by women. And it also has another feature where it's like, when you have said that you like somebody, it times out. So it's not going to stay perpetually open as a like. And interestingly enough, the woman who designed Bumble was originally on the design team for Tinder. So it has that same functionality. So Tinder, Bumble, and also Hinge is another one that is very popular, very successful. So those are the top 3 websites and the top 3 apps. And hopefully that is helpful for narrowing things down. Oh, one last thing I want to say about that, by the way, because people, when they're eager to get going, I very strongly recommend that you start with one first. Once you've got your sea legs under you, you're going to get the most amount of attention initially when you're a brand new person on a site or an app. So once it has come down to a more manageable level and you really know that you can add a second and still give it your very best, because if you can't, if you already feel tapped out, don't add a second one. It is not going to work well. All right, so that's just my advice about that. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.